Okay, this is going to be a reading for Sagittarius. And right away, Sagittarius, I'm seeing that you could be working on building up a legacy for yourself. And there's a feeling of working very hard towards whatever that is, to creating whatever this is. And the overall energy for the reading is the Nine of Pentacles, and the oracle cards that I pulled are fragmentation, mind, and existence. So with these oracle cards and with the Nine of Pentacles coming out, I'm seeing that it may feel like you're carrying a large burden on your own, or you're just trying to keep all of this together. There may be many moving parts or many things going on in the material world. So some of you could have multiple jobs, or just multiple obligations, and you may be feeling a little bit spread thin with fragmentation, mind, and existence as the oracle cards here. It could be feeling like you're starting to get a little bit burnt out with the Nine of Wands coming out. And I'm seeing that for whoever is listening today, this may be triggering within you questions about your existence or where you belong in the world, or if you're on the right path. And I'm getting a strong message from Spirit to tell you that you are on the right path, that you are doing everything you're meant to be doing right now. And you're just kind of at one phase in your journey. Now, when I clarify the Nine of Pentacles, I get the Ace of Swords, the Eight of Wands, the Nine of Wands, which shows a level of progression. So you are moving forward here. I'm also seeing that there's something that you could feel like you're waiting for to come in, or you've been very kind of exhausted waiting for this to happen, or waiting for an energy of something new to come in and kind of restore you here. There could be something that you're waiting to receive with that Ace of Swords and the Eight of Wands specifically, that you're getting kind of tired, wondering, when am I really going to receive that? And you may feel like you're at a bit of a standstill as you wait for whatever this is. When I clarified that Ace of Swords, we got the Five of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, the Hierophant. Again, that feeling of progression of, am I really moving forward as much as I need to be moving forward? And again, I think the answer is yes. You're just at one part of your path. For some of you, you could be wondering when you're going to see a clear level of productivity from whatever this is, or a clear output, a product, a profit. For a lot of you, this is going to be something very much in your material world. So maybe a career that you've been working towards for a long time, and you're wondering, when am I going to make a certain amount of money, or when is it going to stop being difficult? And for many of you, this could be something that you've been working towards for a while, and you're getting by and it's okay, but you're not really where you'd want to be, or you're not making as much money, or you're not as stable as you want to be with this thing. For others of you, this could have to do with a relationship, and you're wondering, when are we going to reach that next level of commitment? Or it could just be something within your spiritual journey that you within yourself are kind of handling alone, and you're wondering, when am I going to reach that next level or that next phase, and when is it going to start to feel more balanced rather than difficult? And for a lot of you, I'm seeing with the Nine of Pentacles that this is a journey that, whether it's in work, love, or your spirituality, or just something going on within you, it's something that you may feel like you are working towards alone, or it's a part of your life that is very personal to you with the Nine of Pentacles. It may be something that you are doing the bulk of the work on yourself. And for some of you, this could be about self-love, building up your sense of self or your sense of confidence, and you're kind of wondering, okay, I've been through a lot. When am I going to get to the phase where it feels like balanced and easy and it flows? And I'm seeing with the Hierophant here that it's part of your spiritual path to struggle a bit on this journey. Or I shouldn't say struggle, but to move through this particular challenges that you are moving through. They may be placed on your path to teach you something. They may be placed there so that when you move through them, you have learned, you felt a sense of achievement, and you kind of are like, okay, I know what I'm capable of now, that sort of thing. So that's the kind of energy that we're dealing with today, and that is coming out in the cards. Let's take a deeper look at all of this, and let's look at the Chariot. So I see with the Chariot, the Eight of Pentacles and Three of Pentacles, you are well on your way towards building whatever this is. There's definitely a forward momentum here with the Chariot and the Eight of Pentacles, possibly something you're very excited about, or you have a lot of energy towards. And I'm seeing that at some point, you were in the beginning phases of it. For many of you, you still are. For some of you, you began this a little while ago and you're kind of just trucking along. And it's something that it's like you seem to know where you're going a little bit, or you at least know what your next steps are. It's just a matter of kind of doing it and moving forward with it. We have the Chariot, which is Cancer energy, and we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is Leo energy. So Cancer or Leo season, July or August could be significant for some of you, but not all of you. Let's take a look at the Chariots. I'm hearing you're well on your way. You're well on your way. Seven of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Nine of Swords. So even though you're well on your way, I see you kind of looking at this and looking at your path and kind of wondering, am I really doing this right? Do I have all my ducks in a row? And it looks like it really stresses you out at times. But I want you to know that that is just your fear. And you have this a lot more together than you may think. It's just looking like this is extremely important for whoever this is, and so your mind kind of jumps in and says, are we doing it well enough? Are we covering all our bases? Do we have it together? And it's something that, because you've devoted so much of your energy to, if you don't see movement, it could feel like, oh my gosh, I have to figure this out right away, or I have to move forward right away. I'm feeling a deep sigh, so maybe some of you need to do some breathing meditation or just work on, relaxing and really feeling the breath. There could be some tightness in the chest for some of you around this if it feels like it's at a standstill, or, I just see you being worried about your path. And you may not realize it, but that worry is actually you kind of getting ahead of yourself when you're actually very much there moving forward, and you're doing great. So let's take a look at the Eight of Pentacles here. Knight of Wands, Nine of Wands, Ten of Wands. You're moving forward on your path. There's a lot of stress around, am I doing this right? At some point, you look like you got a little bit burned out by all those things that are stressing you out. There's a part of you that really wants to charge forward here, but there's another part of you that feels kind of weighed down by the stress, possibly, maybe by not knowing what's going to happen next. And I see you, setting out to charge ahead and then kind of stopping in your tracks because you're like, wow, this is actually really hard. This is actually really difficult. But there's a feeling of like you need to just keep going. And I think on some level it looks like you know that. And it's almost like you're like, okay, I'm just going to keep going no matter how hard it is, no matter how hard it gets. And as you kind of begin this journey, I see you kind of wondering, what's going to happen here? What am I manifesting? How is this going to change? And the fact is you can't really know. All you can do is keep going. And it's kind of like you're building a house and you're laying the bricks for the house. And maybe you have your map or you have your blueprint or your plans or whatever it is, but you don't really know exactly how the house is going to look in real life until you've put each brick down. And the more bricks that you put down, the more of the house starts to come together and you start to be able to see it. And I see that you're kind of waiting for things to change here before you've maybe laid down all your bricks. And so there's a message here about continuing to build that house and just to keep going, even if you can't quite see the outcome. And I see you maybe checking for the outcome before you've even gotten as far through as you need to in order to see that finished product. And maybe this is something that you're never really fully going to be finished with, right? Maybe this is just an ongoing journey where you are building and building, and as you build, the path becomes clear and you move further along on that path. And that could be the case too, because this does look like with the existence here, there's a need for you to kind of step out of the mind and the logic of one thing happened and then another thing happened and then another thing happened, and kind of understand that this is all part of a bigger picture, which is your life. And that, you know, in the course of our lives, we never really reach an endpoint until we reach our endpoint and we move on to the next thing or the spirit realm or whatever, you believe in. And there's a need for you to kind of respect the process here in the journey, rather than checking every checkpoint and saying, okay, did I do it? Is it done? Because no, you're not done. You're still going, and that's okay. But I'm seeing here that you kind of have a renewed sense of optimism with the Page of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles. The Queen of Wands is Sagittarius energy very strongly, very strong feminine Sagittarius energy, and we all have masculine and feminine within us. So even if you're not a woman, it's a very positive energy to have the Queen of Wands show up in the center of your reading like this. And I see you persevering with that Four of Pentacles. You're saying, you know what? I'm going to hold on to what I have and what I've done so far. You go from the Three of Pentacles in the past to the Four of Pentacles in the current energy. So I do see you progressing with this. And I see you kind of holding on to whatever it is that you've achieved, which is very good, and saying, okay, like look at what I did. And if you haven't, maybe there's a need in the present moment for you to kind of pat yourself on the back for everything that you have accomplished with this. And allow that to kind of power you forward. Let's take a look at the Page of Cups in the current energy for where you're at right now and the energies that you're transitioning into. The Moon, the Four of Wands, the Page of Wands. Again, it's almost like there's this finish line or this sense of stability that on one level you may be able to dream of, or you may be able to conceptualize in a kind of vague way. But you may not even fully be aware of what's coming for you or what's possible for you. And it's kind of like you have to move blindly through this before seeing those results. And you could be seeing maybe like a small amount of what's possible for you, or maybe you've completed a little bit of your house and you are feeling like, oh, like maybe I'm actually really building a house here. Like that's awesome. And there's something about like maybe like always wanting more and more, and spirit wanting to kind of slow you down and ask you to be present in where you're at with this, because there's things that you're not seeing that are going to happen here. There's a sense of stability maybe that's coming for you, and you're like grabbing out for it, and everything in divine timing, like this is going to come through when it's time for this to come through, and not a moment sooner. And it looks like maybe this is bringing up for you some inner child fears around stability, around commitment. Am I really going to be supported the way that I want to be? Especially if you're attached to another person, which I don't see for many of you, but for some of you, if you're in a relationship, there could be a part of you that's like clinging to some idea of what this could be in the future, or, could I lay down roots with this person, something like that. And that's actually your inner child like reaching out for a sense of security. But your adult self, your higher self, is asking you to kind of be a little bit more patient with this process and be more present with it, so that when it's time for you to get to that point, you feel a lot more fulfilled, and you can kind of fully feel it and fully step into it from that place of presence that you'll have cultivated by that point. Okay, let's look at your energy. You look very much in your power here with the Queen of Wands. Show me the Queen of Wands in the center of the reading, please. Eight of Wands, Four of Cups, the Devil. Yeah, so you're moving forward, but then it's like this sense of discontentment, this sense of it's not enough, or I haven't done enough, or I haven't achieved enough, it kind of shoots you in the foot because you have a very positive, forward moving energy. But that feeling of discontentment kind of comes from that inner child feeling, or that thing that hasn't been healed, that your inner child is looking to fulfill it. And so instead of healing whatever it is in your inner child, um, you end up kind of looking outside of yourself to whatever this is to fulfill you. And if you're not as far along on your journey, maybe as you wish you were, that inner child comes out and says, oh no, I'm not secure, I'm not stable. And it's interesting that we have the Page of Wands and the Queen of Wands, because I see them both as you, but that Page of Wands is that much more childish energy, whereas that Queen of Wands is the older, more balanced energy that you are right now, that you've kind of grown into. You've moved past this childhood energy, but it's coming back in this way where any fears around stability that you're having, they're being illuminated by this process, and they show up in such a way where to you it looks like why haven't I achieved what I need to, and this intense frustration or fear or anxiety that you have been feeling around this, and kind of wondering, when am I going to succeed in this? When is it going to come through? When am I going to get everything that I want? That's coming through because part of your journey with this is to get more in touch with your inner child and to understand, why are you so afraid, and where does that fear come from? And why do you look outside of yourself for stability? And what is it that is within you that needs to be comforted or healed or supported in such a way where you're not, thrown off every single time you don't achieve what you want, right? Because, it's almost like you're setting out to build this house, and you're like, it's great, I just need this house to be done, then I'll be able to live in it, and it'll be beautiful, and I can invite my friends over. But you're not there yet. You're still laying the bricks. And every day, at the end of your workday, you're laying the bricks, and the house still isn't finished, but you've done a bit more, but you're thinking, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I still don't have a home. I still don't have this finished. Why isn't it done yet? I've worked so hard on this every day, but it's not meant to be finished yet. It's still in progress. And it's not a bad thing that it's not finished yet, or that you haven't reached that point. It's just where you're at in the process, and that's okay too. And so rather than being hard on yourself, I wonder if you can extend a little bit more gentleness and a little bit more love and care to relax the mind and bring in some of that heart space to your inner child, because you wouldn't speak to an actual child this way, but you are speaking pretty harshly to yourself, and it ends up kind of demobilizing you, or kind of stopping you from moving forward, even as you're still pushing yourself to lay these bricks. And if you keep laying your bricks, or you keep building towards this energy, eventually you are going to get very burnt out, because you've got a lot of negativity that's coming from within you that needs to be kind of confronted. We're going to clarify the Four of Pentacles now. The Empress, the Six of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles. Spirit kind of is bringing in this reminder. Remember why you're doing this, remember what it's all about. And what it's really about is a love of yourself, and working towards loving yourself. Because whatever this is so important to you that it's almost become a part of your life path, and the work that you've put into it is a piece of yourself that you've put into it. And so Spirit is asking you to love yourself by loving this process, and to kind of hold on to the whole reason you started building this house in the first place, because you love yourself and you want to build this house for yourself. Whatever your house is, whether it's a relationship, a job, a spiritual project, or just healing and self-love and moving forward in your life, remember that you're doing that from a place of love. And that the point is not to get bogged down in your mind or to be hard on yourself. And if that's what you're turning into, you may be losing sight of why you started this in the first place, or what's possible here. Because there are possibilities here, and it's looking like as those possibilities expand, you also expand into your most powerful self, the Empress. And with the Empress, the Six of Cups, and the Ace of Pentacles, I see that this is actually an opportunity for you to heal your inner child. And maybe building this house will give your inner child a place to roam free and feel expansive as well. And so if you get excuse me, if you get caught up in, your anxieties around this, don't start to be like, oh my god, I'm doing it again. I'm getting anxious. I need to stop. No, like, remember that's also you, and that's also your inner child reaching out to you and your higher self for love. That this is all sort of a process of you learning how to love yourself by moving through these feelings. And so if you're getting frustrated in this process, don't just kind of sweep it under the rug and say, oh yeah, I'm just frustrated because I'm building this house and it's hard. No, look deeper at, what are these feelings trying to show you? Because you're working very hard on this, but it's also about a process of becoming closer to yourself and being kinder to yourself and recognizing where maybe you could be a little kinder to yourself. Okay, so moving into the future and whatever this endeavor is, we have the Sun, which has come out multiple times now, the Two of Wands, and the Four of Cups. So this has the possibility to make you very happy or to be a source of happiness for you. It's kind of like it can be a happy process or it can be a difficult one. Most of the time I see it being happier, but the message here is that you are going to have to choose what kind of experience this is for you. It's about your perspective with the Three of Wands at the bottom of the deck. You can feel aligned and balanced in this process, or you can feel rejecting of it. And it's really up to you with that Two of Wands, and it's about your perspective and what you choose to focus on. And Spirit here with the Sun and then the Two of Wands is asking you to look at the bright side and to look at what makes you happy about this and why you enjoy it and fully immerse yourself in that joy rather than getting bogged down in, oh, well, today bricklaying was really hard, or maybe I didn't have enough bricks, or, maybe my hands hurt from these bricks. Like, okay, like, let's take a step back and look at what you enjoy about this process. Did you have fun? Did you feel fulfilled? All of those things. Let's take a look at the Sun card here. This is something that just lights you up. And when you're able to step into that energy, right? Like when you're able to feel that energy, it's something that just lights you up. So let's take a look at that with the Sun. Three of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, the Hermit. Again, there's something about healing the way that you look at things that this process is also trying to draw to your attention. Like, it's like this very like meta process of like there's the thing at its basic level, and then if you zoom out, there's the larger thing that's going on here, if that makes sense. And Spirit wants you to examine your relationship to happiness, and do you keep yourself from being happy by giving in more to those negative energies, which is not to say that your pain is always self-inflicted or anything like that, but often we don't realize how much we have and how much we're capable of having, and we just focus on what we don't have. And there's almost this thing that Spirit wants to show you, like, and really clarify, because we had the Moon, the Four of Wands, the Page of Wands, which is that inner child feeling of insecurity, but it's also a lack of clarity when you're feeling that way, of maybe you're not seeing things so clearly. And Spirit really wants to illuminate for you all of the great things that you do have going on for you. Let's take a look at that Sun again. Show me more about the Sun card for Sagittarius. Seven of Cups, Ten of Cups in reverse, Two of Pentacles. Yeah, again, they're showing me that over and over again, you tend to look a little bit more towards the negatives or how much you don't have. And because this is a general reading, I can't necessarily say specifically what your situation is and what it is you do and don't have. But I'm getting the sense that there's actually a lot of happiness in your life that it's almost like you can't fully feel, or you're not fully stepping into, because you end up kind of looking at the negatives a little bit more. And Spirit wants you to look at how much you have accomplished for yourself with the Star at the bottom of the deck already. Like, you don't need to hold out for this thing to come together. Like when it does, it's going to feel amazing, and that's great too. But there's also something about giving yourself the gift of seeing how much you've already achieved and how much you've already healed within yourself and how far you've come since you were that little baby Sagittarius, and now you're this somewhat older Sagittarius. Hopefully no babies listening to me right now. All right, let's take a look at the Two of Wands. Also, I just want to say thank you guys for all the love on my last video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if this is resonating for you. I'd love to do more readings for you, and the more that you engage with the channel, the more energy you're exchanging with me, and then the more the readings will connect with you in the future. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe if this is resonating with you. And let's take a look at this Two of Wands. Six of Cups, Five of Wands, the Moon. There could be a bit of a focus on the past again, like that could be where your inner child pain is also coming out too, where maybe you're focused on something that happened in your adolescence, or it's almost like your perspective itself is being defined by all the times things didn't work out in the past. And I'm almost seeing that you may not even realize that you're seeing things in that way. Like you may think that you've completely healed from whatever this is, but maybe there was some rejection or some coldness, or some time that you needed love that you didn't receive love, or some time that you needed abundance that you didn't receive abundance, that has really affected the way that you move through the world and the way that you approach whatever this is. And it could like zap the feeling and the emotion and the heart out of what you're doing, so that you only ever see it as really logical, and you only ever see it as a number of steps, and okay, now that I've achieved this, I'm going to achieve the next thing, and blah 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 blah, and you never really are able to fully feel it. And you may not even realize that you have this inner struggle from your childhood or from your past that comes up and kind of shifts how you see things, but it does seem to be affecting your worldview, and it makes it harder for you to enjoy yourself, whatever this is. So maybe in the past, you tried to build a house and lay down these bricks, and it just didn't work out, and you kept having to stop building your house, or someone came and broke your house down, or whatever it is. It's just a metaphor, but that really stayed with you, and you may not even realize how deep it is for you with the moon and how much it's affected you, but it's coming up through this process so that you can heal it, and so that you can take a look at it. And Spirit kind of just wants you to be aware of that, and to be aware of the fact that there is something deeper kind of going on here for you as you build this house for yourself. Let's take a look at the Four of Cups. This could be something you haven't wanted to look at, whatever this pain is for you. It could be something that you just don't see. But your attention is being drawn to it right now, because you could have all the happiness in the world, and if you're not going to see it and you're not going to feel it, then you're not going to be happy. You know what I mean? And Spirit wants you to be happy. The universe wants you to enter into this energy of joy and playfulness. Let's take a look at that Four of Cups. Nine of Cups, Justice in reverse, Ace of Swords in reverse. There's this feeling at the very end of the reading of yeah. That's all well and good, but I haven't succeeded at this, so how am I supposed to be happy? Or I still haven't, this is nice and all. I'm happy to look at my wounds or whatever, but I haven't finished building my house, so it doesn't matter. And you kind of return to that very practical energy of I need to succeed, I need to do this, and that's what's going to make me happy. And I think you kind of need to maybe shift your priorities there, because if you're committed to seeing things in that way of I can only be happy when I achieve this, then you're not really yourself. You're just a set of achievements, and I want you to fully be yourself. I want you to be Sagittarius, the powerful, energetic, beautiful, outgoing, confident, strong, sexy, fully capable person that you are. You're a human being moving through life. You're not just someone who achieves stuff, and for some reason that message really needs to come through for someone today. Okay. Woo. An interesting reading for sure. Let's get 3 cards of advice for you, Saggy, to close out the reading. King of Swords, 7 of Wands, 4 of Wands. They're saying you're going to get there. You're going to get there. You don't have to worry. But don't let your mind get in the way, you know? You're going to get there. But it's not going to feel like you're getting there if your mind comes in and blocks you from feeling the full experience of it. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope that this helps. I hope it resonated, and I'll see you next time.